5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Video Takeover. What's up, brothers? Well, the city is back up and running again, so I figured I'll go out and enjoy myself tonight. Nothing major, maybe a couple of drinks, maybe a couple of freaks. I'm just joking. Have a couple of drinks and spend some time with one lucky lady. No need for multiple. And I figured before I go out, I'll hop in the studio and reminisce, maybe have a pre-game beer with you guys, and share some knowledge with you. Scratch that. Share some wisdom with you. Now, the reason why I say that is because knowledge is something you've learned, okay? You can pick up a book, you can watch a video on it, you can hear somebody say it. That's knowledge. It's just something you've learned through education. Wisdom is something you've learned through experience. It means you've gone through it. There's a big difference. Anyways, that's neither here nor there at this point. But if I were to tell you that it hurts to touch a hot stove, you now have the knowledge that touching a hot stove is bad and it might hurt you. But if you were to actually touch that hot stove, now it's latched onto your DNA, okay? And your hindbrain is going to tell you every time you see a hot stove, it's going to remind you just for a split second about the excruciating pain that comes along with touching the hot stove, and you're going to know not to touch the hot stove. That's wisdom. It's a little bit deeper. It's different. It comes through experience, not just education. Anyways, today's topic. I want to talk a little bit about notch counts. Now, male notch counts in particular. So we all know about female notch counts and what they can do, the emotional damage and psychological damage that can come along with a female with a high notch count. Sorry about that. Anyways, and that's all true. I can go back to my, let's say about roughly 18 or 19 years old. I remember a girl who I had a, teenage crush on. I remember walking into a party and seeing her walk out of a bedroom with 4 guys. 4. And I didn't even recognize this girl at this point. Like, her soul was gone. She was turned out. She had been emotionally, psychologically damaged. Her notch count must have went from, 1 to 100 in a matter of months. She was completely lost at that point. So, and her reputation was damaged as well. Like, nobody's ever going to take her serious unless she moves away and starts out new. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about female notch counts. We all know about those. I'm here to talk about male notch counts. And I'm going to share with you some things that no dating coaches or pickup artists or, guys in the manosphere are willing to share with you. They all preach that one-itis is a bad thing. Yeah, okay. Okay. Listen, men can get psychological damage too, and I'm going to explain to you, how that works. And we're a lot different than women. We are a lot different. We're not the same at all. So you got to understand the differences, okay? Now, our psychological damage isn't necessarily going to come from the fact that we can no longer pair bond, or we're emotionally damaged or psychologically damaged. That's not the way that works. Men go through a different type of damage. See, we're competitive, we're driven, we're always trying to raise that bar, right? I'm a weightlifter, okay? So when I was a teenager, I was thinking, man, if I can just push 135 pounds on the bench press, I'll be running with the big boys. So I hit 135, and then it was like, yeah, it's baby weight, I gotta hit 225. Then I'll be, running with the big dogs. That's real weight right there. Hit 225. All right, 225 is baby weight. I got to hit 315. And right now, here I am, grown-ass man, and I'm looking at 405. Like, that's where I got to be. 315 is nothing, And that's kind of the way it works with us men. You know what I'm saying? That's why chasing a high notch count is not a good idea, okay? Because what's going to happen, and trust me, this will happen, okay? Your threshold for excitement is going to go up. Okay, let me explain kind of how it worked for me. So, when I had a low notch count, it was like I was excited by just sleeping with women from my hometown. It was like, well, that's cool, But that got boring real quick. And then it was like I had to experience women of other races and other nationalities. I had to have a threesome. And then everything was boring at this point. And I started doing crazy shit. I like, that's when dating apps came out and social media. I would go on dating apps. I would have a party. I would have like, nothing major, maybe 15 to 20 people over, getting drunk, getting high, having a good time, 21, 22 years old, whatever. And, I would invite 3 or 4 different chicks over at the same time that I didn't even know, just girls from the dating app. They would show up, and my logic in my head was like, well, maybe I can get a couple of them in the bedroom with me. Maybe I could talk them into it. If not, I'll be drunk and I'll get to see the look on these girls' faces when they realize what's really going on, and that's going to be exciting too. I mean, I was a nutcase. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was fucked up, like, obviously, right? But that's because my threshold for what got me excited just kept going up higher and higher. So I got to where I was doing crazy shit. Okay, so for us, it's different. For a woman, she's just gonna get psychological damage. She's gonna have a hard time pair bonding. But for us, we're just gonna start doing more and more crazy shit. And eventually you're going to be so far gone, man. You're going to be just doing some weird shit. People are into some kinky and weird shit out there, man. They really are. And the reason why is because they keep up in that threshold, taking that next step, doing weirder and freakier shit. You see all this weird stuff out there. Just weird stuff. Like you turn on porn, you see all the weird shit they're doing. Stay away from that too, but you got to reset, man. Having a low notch count is a good thing. But, if you're a man with a high notch count, there is a way to recover from it. And, God fucking damn it. What you got to do is, and this is what I did myself, and it works, okay? You got to unplug, maybe like go monk mode, go MGTOW. That's when it's okay to do that. Maybe spend 6 months, maybe a year off. No women. Just live your life, reset, gain your ability to properly pair bond back. You gain the ability for one woman to excite you. Like you need that ability. And all these guys, they talk down on one-itis. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay, one-itis is necessary. If you don't have the ability to be excited by one woman and be infatuated with just one woman, it's never going to work out, man. You got to be passionate about something in life if you want it to work out. If you want to be an NBA basketball player, you got to be passionate about basketball. If you want to be a doctor, you got to be passionate about saving lives or operating on people or whatever it is you're going to do. You're going to go through a lot of trials and tribulations on your way. So you got to be passionate about it. Otherwise, you're just going to quit. You're going to run into some obstacles and you're going to say this isn't worth it. And you're just going to quit, So it's good to have one-itis for a woman. I'm not saying give your credit card to her after you've been together for 2 weeks or co-sign on an auto loan when you're on a first date or whatever. Don't be an idiot, obviously, but it's okay to be passionate about a woman, right? You're supposed to get one-itis. Most of these guys that are telling you not to get one-itis are like 40 years old, like pickup artists that are still bragging about going to nightclubs and cold approaching drunk chicks and taking one of them home. Come on, it's lame as fuck, dude. That's normal guys do that shit in their teenage years. These guys are like 40 and they're still proud of it. These are man children. They're big babies, okay? That's not what you want to turn out like. So when a guy's telling you that it is beneficial for you to have a high notch count, he probably don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's probably a little damaged in his head. He's probably going to wake up and realize, just like Roosh V did, one of these days, he's going to have to unplug, pull out, and reset. Because Roosh V is pretty much a MGTOW now, right? He's just pulled out. He's all religious and shit. But that's a good move. Like, I don't judge him for it. A lot of people think he's crazy. I don't judge him for it. I think he's doing the right thing. I did the same thing, You got to pull out, reset, regain your ability to catch one-itis, and do things the right way, like an alpha male. A beta male will let that sex addiction rule him. An alpha male will find a way to overcome that and get his life back on track. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I want to say about notch counts, guys. So a lot of these guys that are telling you to go out there and run up your notch count, get that experience, desensitize yourself, that's not a smart move. Okay. If you still have a low notch count, you're still wholesome. You know, you're still pure. You're more mature than you will be when you have a high notch count. Trust me, because once you get a high notch count, you're gonna have to figure out how to get back to where you were before. You know, so that's a little bit of wisdom I want to share with you guys. And it is about time for me to hit the road and go enjoy myself. I'm gonna pour the rest of this out because I gotta drive, and you know, a half a beer is probably about the limit that I should have before I get behind the wheel. Don't be an idiot and drink and drive. It'll screw your life up, maybe end your life, and maybe somebody else's. That's all I got for tonight, guys. It's been great to sit here and shoot the shit with you. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. What's the other one? Click bell buttons. LFA signing out.